So what you're gonna talk about? Time management. I don't know how about you, but I feel like I'm super busy. But if you ask my wife says, just don't do anything. He doesn't do anything. All he does is go to YouTube and listening to Buddhist teachings. Okay? Next time you ask my wife, she's gonna tell you that I'm not super busy. Now, you're gonna hear how super busy Hua has been. And I sometimes you'll see her make time with Uncle Go. They spend time together. My wife to say, what are you gonna have time with me? So let's get up for Hua. Thank you all. Come all the way for time management.
Thank you, Peter. Let's give a round of applause for Jared. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hua. I used to live in Minnesota here, but a job opportunity took us to the East Coast. So we traded the city mountains for the city buildings for mountains and all the traffic. We got rid of that, which is great. But anyway, I am here to talk about time management with all of you. So I want to ask you guys, how many of you guys know what the acronym BS stands for? Who knows what BS stands for? You do?
Yeah.
Say it. Just say it. You're not going to get in trouble. I will not let you punish you. What do you think it stands for?
Bullshit.
I'm going to tell you it is wrong. Okay? BS does not stand for that. BS stands for your belief system. Okay? BS stands for your belief system. Because if you believe that you are overwhelmed, you're going to be overwhelmed. If you believe that you are super busy, like what Jer says, you're super busy. And if you believe that I can't do this, then guess what? You can't do it. And if you believe that, hey, I can make my time, I can spend time with my husband, I can invest in my children, I can invest in myself, guess what? At the end of the day, you can do that. It's called your BS, okay? So you're going to change that from bullshit to belief system, okay? So now if anybody asks you, oh my God, there's so much BS going on in my home, you go, yeah, you got to change your belief system. Because if you change your belief system, then that means that you can do pretty much anything, right? And the only person that stands in your way is your own shadow. Does your husband stand in your way? He does, but you can kick him out, okay? Just kick him off. But the person who you can't kick off is your own shadow, okay? So I'm here to talk to you about time management. I have 7 kids. We have 7 kids. I homeschool 4 of them. I own a boutique, and I do healing shamans, and then I'm also a wife and cook and cater to him and the rest of the kids. So between all that, where do I find time, right? How do we manage our time so that when we have clients, we don't spend 4 hours on the phone with clients? That's what happened, and I'm sharing this with you because I got smart from my mistakes. And when I first started my journey, someone called me on the phone, and I sat down and I said, oh, this is going to be fun, right? Because people said, the more meetings you do, the more you learn, right? So I'm stacked up with meetings, and I'm like, hey, this is going to be fun. And I talk on the phone, and she doesn't know when to hang up. And I've been sitting for 2 hours, and then it's 3 hours. And I go, oh my God, I've been on this phone for 3 hours. What's going on? And when I hang up, it's been 4.5 hours with her. And I tell myself, wow, 4.5 hours with a client, I can't do this. This is so exhausting. And so this is where I learned how to manage my time, okay? Your clients are not your friends. They're not your friends. When you're done talking to them on the phone, you say bye, you hang up. You don't talk to them about, hey, what kind of colored clothes are you gonna wear to the club tonight, right? You don't talk about any of that. You understand what their purpose is, you get to the problem, you provide them a solution, you recommend it to them, you don't tell them you have to take this. You recommend it to them, whether they choose to do it or not, it's up to them. And then you say, thank you for trusting my services, goodbye. That's it. Give your client a time frame of 1 hour. So for me, I set up my time frame with my customers and my clients, and I say, you have 1 hour with me. I'm in the East Coast. You have to remember, I'm in the East time zone. When you have clients who call you in California, you set up your time 8, that means it's only 5 o'clock over there. You have to remember to keep that, remind them all the time. I invested in a program where I have emails sent to my clients. I don't do any of that. That saves me time. Because then my email says to my client, hey, your appointment with Hua is on Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Please pick up your phone. She's calling from this number, this number. This tells them that they should expect a call from me. I give them a 15-minute window. I say, I'm calling you at 8. If by 8:15 you don't call me back, your appointment is done. I'm not gonna wait for you, because if you make me late, you make me late for my next client. And my time is very important, because if you push me back, then that means that I push my second client back. And in return, it pushes me back in my other clients. And then I'm backed up, and guess what happens? I'm overwhelmed. And now I don't know what to do, because then my brain is scattered, because I'm running late, and I have to make sure that I pick up my kids, and I have to make sure that I do this and I do that. And by the time I'm done, I'm exhausted, and I don't want to deal with anything. So your clients have to respect your time. Okay? They have to respect your time, and you also have to respect their time. Meaning that if you tell them, I'm gonna be here at 8, you be there at 7:50. 7:50, you're already there. Okay? When they respond to you, you respond back immediately. You don't wait 4 hours a day, 4 days later. What you do is you set up an instant message reply. Thank you. I have read your message. I will get back to you. Because we all, us women, we've done shopping online, right? Who's that I take, I buy here? Be honest. I take, I buy, yeah. Okay, whoever didn't raise their hand are liars.
Okay,
so,
fine.
Yeah, there we go. So, when you ask them a question like, how much is this? And they go, oh, message me. And you message them, and it takes you 6 days to get an answer, right? By the time 6 days come, you probably already bought like whatever you need from somebody else. And so you have to put yourself in your client's shoes about time. If somebody asks you something, you have to just take a break, like a 5-minute break, and say, even if you have to say, thank you for messaging me, I will get back to you. This also builds a very strong professional profile with you, and it gets your clientele up, and word of mouth also gets you going, and it spreads you as a positive healer, as somebody who takes care of their customers. I'm really old school, so for me to make sure that I manage my time correctly, I've got a calendar that has all my clients' name, their time, then I've got it on my phone, and then I've got it on my online system. On Sundays, I sit down for about 20 minutes. I check to make sure all of that is correct. To make sure that whoever booked, whoever canceled, whoever didn't show up, all of it is all correct. And then I sit down and I send them a personal text saying, hi, this is Hua. I will be calling you on Monday. Even if they get an email, I still send that out. Because this creates a relationship where they trust me. Because if you don't send that to them, if I'm a stranger, sometimes they seek out to you as a last resort. Do they know you? No, they don't. They come to you because I saw who on social media, or Teresa referred me to you. I don't really know you, but it's like I'm desperate for answers. So when you create that relationship, you build a really positive rapport with your clients to tell them, hey, you can trust me. Your space and your time with me is sacred. I respect your time. I respect you. So you, in return, can trust me. This way, when they talk to you, they sit down and they talk to you, you lay out exactly, you have 1 hour with me. You can ask me anything you want. When my alarm clock goes off, it tells you that you have 15 minutes left. This is going to prepare you to end your call, and it's also going to prepare you to close every single portal with your client so you can properly move on to the next one. When you have all of this in place, your times with your clients are going to be so much better, because then you can actually focus on your client. Once your readings are done and all that is done and gone, you can say, okay, now it's the shaman who has off. I'm here to take care of my kids. I'm here to take care of my husband and myself. Train your kids to understand when you do your readings, so that they know this is not the time to bother mommy. this is the time for her as a healer. By 7:30, my kids, the old, the young, they all carry their blankets and they go, okay, we gotta go upstairs. It's time for mom to do her readings. By 10 o'clock, they come all down because they know that it's done. And when you have that relationship, when you invest that with your kids as well, they don't feel like you treat your clients more important than them. When I first started, this journey, Grandmaster said to me, family, husband, self, spiritual. If you forget this, you're gonna fall behind. You forget this step, where it's your family, your husband, yourself, and then your spiritual, you will lose everything in your path. Once you make everything about spiritual, and you forget the person who was by you, especially when no one believed you, this is when you lose track of it. And your clients become what you focus on, which is going to take up your whole time. And time, we all know, we can't rewind, we can't turn back. So, when you start off as a healer, you may not yet know how to put yourself out there to create a time that will work for you. But as you build that up, slowly build it up so that, learn from my mistakes so that you don't spend 4 hours on the phone with a client. So you don't spend 4 hours talking to somebody and it drains all your energy. Your client comes to you based on when you are available. They come to you, you say, hey, my hours that I do healings is between this, this, and this, and this. And if they say, well, that doesn't work for me, okay, we can figure out a time, but I'm not gonna call you during a time where there's no one there to watch my kids. I'm not gonna call you and read for you during a time where nobody can, watch me. Because no matter how long you have been doing this journey, it doesn't matter how long, how good you are, or how, what your track record is, you will always need somebody to watch you because you prepare for anything that happens without your knowledge. Anything can happen. When you go to the other side, anything can happen. You will run into something that you didn't expect. Halfway through, they'll pull you to court in the middle of reading. You just don't know. You need somebody there to make sure you are okay, to make sure you don't accidentally fall off the chair, to make sure that you are still doing what you're supposed to do, that whoever is watching you recognizes your path and recognizes the way how you're moving and you're singing and you're chanting. And this is the time where they go, okay, I need to call Sifu. Now when you have that, and you have all of this in place, your time with your clients becomes very professional. You don't rush yourself. They also answer their phone on time, right? Because they know that if I don't answer my phone on time, I was going to move on to the next one and I'm going to lose my place. This also lets you build a very positive rapport with your client. It gives you a chance to show your clients how professional you are as a healer. Because we all know that when you are dealing with shaman healers, some that I've dealt with are not very professional. They don't count your time. They don't think your time is as valuable as theirs. So you can go to their house and then they say, oh, I'm talking to somebody, you're gonna have to wait, even though it's already your appointment time. And it bleeds into yours. Mm-hmm. And by the time it gets to you, you're like, okay, I'm fed up. Now you made me late to whatever I was supposed to go, okay? So you have to make sure that you tell your clients from the very beginning what your regulations are, what your guidelines are. You set that in stone. If they don't show up, don't get mad. Maybe they just decided they didn't want to have a healing session with you anymore. Do some message you that they want to cancel? Oh yeah. Do some just don't show up? Plenty. And then you're going to get those who you call and leave a message and then suddenly you find out that they blocked your phone. Okay? It happens all the time. Don't take it personally. It's nothing against you. It's something they have to work on themselves. What you need to work on is you need to work on focusing on how to maintain that time. The other part of your belief system is making sure that you're using the time that you have. So for me, what I do is, this is September, right? By the beginning of September, I already have marked out what I'm going to be doing in October. So in October, I've marked out all my special giveaways, I've marked out all my prices, I've marked out what I'm going to do for my followers, what kind of giveaways, what kind of fundraising I'm gonna do. You stay a month ahead. You're always a month ahead. You schedule every single post that you want on your social media. Jillian was talking to me the other day, and Jillian says, well, how do you, it's like 3 in the morning and something just popped up on your page. And I said, girl, it ain't me, I scheduled it like 3 or 4 hours ago. Facebook doesn't work for me, okay? So that's how you get yourself ahead of time, is that you make social media work for you. You don't work for social media. Because if you do that, you're gonna be on your phone and your computer all day being, oh my god, it's like 2 o'clock, I gotta post something. And then Jonia, where Jer said, Jer's always on YouTube. Okay, I'm always on YouTube too. My husband's like, God, you're like, is your phone your husband? Sometimes, okay, sometimes my phone is my husband, but you know, it's kind of like the 21st century nowadays.
Jealous.
So, you know, that's how you can make time work for you, okay? So for those of you who have established a social media page, schedule your posts, okay? Schedule your posts so that you're not there. Think about what you're gonna post maybe like the night before, write all of it out, post, you know, do just time. I have this mock page where if I happen to have like a thought in my mind, I type it out and I post it there, and 2 hours later I copy paste. So I don't have to sit and be like, oh my god, what am I gonna write about today? Okay. So you have this mock page, you take a bunch of photos, you put it there, and you know, it's been 2 hours, people are waiting, and you say, okay, well, here, something for your mock page. And the thing about, you know, the thing about social media and also you is that it is work and it is time, because once you lose that momentum and you don't have anything new, any new content, people start to unfollow you, and then you have to build yourself from the ground up again, okay? So once you get to a certain point in your life and you want to maintain that, you have to remember that you have to keep that. So if you are somebody who's always on time, someone who always sends out thank you letters, if you do it once, you keep doing it. Because if you change that, your clients are going to be like, well, she's not as good as she used to be, okay? Like how we go to a restaurant and when they first open and all the waitresses are like, hi, how are you doing? How's your day? My name is so-and-so and I'm going to take care of you, right? 4 months down the road, they're like, hey, what do you want? You know? And then you realize that, you know, they've lost their momentum because they forgot their humble beginnings. And when you forget your humble beginnings, you let the followers and the light and all the love from strangers cloud your thought, close your view, close your eyes, and then you forget what is important. So no matter what it is that you did in the humble beginning, you continue doing that up until the very end. Because this shows character of you. This shows a reflection of you. And if you are someone who respects people's time, continue to do that. Take that 20-minute time to send a text to your customers and say, hey, remember, this is your appointment with me. You have 1 hour. Please pick up your phone. If by this amount of time you don't pick up, I'm moving past you. This keeps you on track. It keeps them on track. So they know that if I go and I seek out May, if I seek out Arissa, she's somebody who's very on time. She's never late. And this way, they also respect your time. Because we all know how important it is to spend time with our children. We all know how important it is to spend time with our spouse. And we all know how important it is to make sure we are loved. And that's one of the most important parts. If we don't invest in that, pretty soon, we become somebody who caters to everybody else, but our home is not very loved. And you can't send love out to somebody if your home is very broken. So this is the most important part in here, is that your time management also reflects on you as a healer and you as a person and as you and whatever title it is that you happen to wear. When you are dealing with people who are constantly late, or people who don't show up, or people who don't respect your time, do not be afraid to state your standards. Remember, they're not your friends, they're not your families, they're not people who you should be gentle with when it comes to valuing your time. Because if you don't, the next time they go, oh, well, it's okay, because, even if I'm 30 minutes late, Jillian's still gonna see me. And because you do already do that, you show up and she expects that you're still gonna take her, even if it's going to push you 30 minutes behind. So you don't wanna do that, you have to make sure that even as a healer, you can still say no. You can tell people no. Hey, you're already late, that means you're in the back of the line. I have somebody that's ahead of you who already showed up on time, and I'm gonna take care of her first. And if you wanna wait, you're gonna have to wait. And then when I get to you, that's when you become. You value that time, so that even if you have disciples, even if you have clients, that each and every one of them are taken care of in a timely manner, so that they don't feel like they're left out. Just because, okay, I'm a disciple, there's a client, and you know, I'd rather go with my client than my disciple. You never want to do that, okay? Your disciple, your clients, your family, each one of them plays a very important role in your life. But it is up to you how to handle that, which falls back on our BS, okay? So if you use that BS system when you say, I don't do overwhelm, then you will never be overwhelmed, okay? Me, I don't. If someone asks me, can you do this and this and this for me? And I know that my plate is very full, I will say no. I used to be a people pleaser, okay? I used to be a people pleaser where I was like, well, if I say yes, then maybe they'll like me and they'll buy my stuff. Do they? No. They use your yes and then they walk away, and they never, think about you. They don't think about you in the thought of their mind. And when you learn how to say no, that is also something that, you as a person can learn how to be strong from. Because if you don't, that means that anybody who comes to you, you're gonna be like, okay, yes, okay, yes, okay, yes. And maybe that person is gonna take a huge chunk of your time that didn't need to be taken out of, okay? So you have to make sure that you set your standards. Make sure you set about how you want to be paid, if you need to be paid. Make sure you set about how long each session is. Set about how you're gonna meet up. Is it through Zoom? Is it through phone? Do they have to come to your house? And then set about how you are going to handle it after the session is over. I usually send out, a thank you letter, okay? And it can be very simple. And the thing about it is that some people, they love to read. Some people hate reading, right? So if you write like a novel, they're gonna be like, oh my God. You write a whole novel and at the end it says thank you. Well, she could have just written thank you, okay? Instead of writing all of this. So the point is to write as much as you can and as little as you can. So in like one paragraph, usually I just write something like, thanks for your time, thanks for trusting my spiritual services. If you would like to donate anything, here's some data. That's it, okay? And this builds a really positive rapport, so that the next time when she sends somebody to you, that person knows, okay, Teresa's on time, Teresa will take care of me, and at the end of the session, she will still treat me like I'm a client, not just a number that's on her appointment, okay? And we all don't want to be treated as a number, okay? When someone comes to, sell you insurance and they go, hey, if you do this, and then I'm gonna get a huge commission check, okay? We don't want to be a commission check on somebody, and you don't want to treat your clients as a commission check, because then in return, word of mouth goes fast, and pretty soon, your clientele list is gonna get very dry. And as part of being a healer, the more we heal, the more we learn about them and about ourselves. So once you set yourself in a position where you're not overwhelmed, where you don't fill up your plate with unnecessary things, your life is gonna be so much better. You're gonna declutter yourself, okay? We all do a detox, we all filter out everything. Filter out your time, because your time is one that is so important. Each day we only get 24 hours, but when you look at somebody who knows how to manage their time, they can do, I don't know how many things in 24 hours. And for some, like, you wake up and then, oh, the day's gone. You're already in bed, and you've done nothing, okay? I've had days like that too. I've had days where I wake up and then it's like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I sat and I watched what my husband says, and, so that's what I watch. That's what happens on days where I don't manage my time correctly. And then what happens is that I get overwhelmed. By 12 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to text this person, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I forgot to do this, I forgot to call seafood when I said I was going to. And then this is when you start to feel guilty. you start to have regret, and those things are poison to you. Okay? And you sit down and your mind goes against you, and you go, oh, you could have done better. You could have, gotten rid of this. You could have done that. Okay. What I've learned about, I use a lot of my my life as a writer to work with my time. So when you are a writer, you write a book, right? You write a whole book, and then you have to go in there and you have to go edit. The editing stage is really hard because you want to keep everything, right? You want to keep everything in there. Everything's so good, but then you have to let it go. And you know that, okay, this part is unnecessary, you don't need to, you let it go. You cut it out and then you just kind of skinny your book, and then at the end of it, you have the perfect book. And it's the same thing with your time. You look at your time, you go, do I really need to do this? No, I don't. Okay, then you skinny that off. Do I really need to do this? Oh yes, I do. Move that to the top. Okay, prioritize so that by the time you're done with your day, you have what you need to do most on the top, and what you need to not do the most, or if you miss doing it and it doesn't affect you, at the very bottom. Okay, so for me, my meditation and my self-love in the morning is the biggest one. When I wake up in the morning, like Jer says, I'm looking in the mirror. Okay, I'm looking in the mirror, I'm combing my hair and brushing my teeth, and the whole time I'm telling myself, hey, well, you're gonna have a great day. This is gonna be a great day for you. Don't wake up thinking you're never gonna make a mistake, because I guarantee you, you will. As soon as you say that, you're gonna knock over something, you'll be like, okay, that's my first mistake. Okay. And for me, what I teach a lot of my followers is I teach them to do the best friend test in the morning when they wake up. The best friend test is basically, we all have a best friend in our life, right? Who comes to us for advice. And we are really good at giving them advice. We say, hey, you know what? They come to us with a problem, and we can say, Sonny, I think you're wonderful, you're beautiful, you can do this, you can do that. But we never say it to ourselves. Okay, we say it to everybody else, but we don't say it to ourselves. And ourself is what counts. So every morning, I want you guys to adapt this so that when you wake up in the morning and you do the best friend test, and you look in the mirror and you say, you know what, I'm good. Okay, I'm really good. I love how my hair looks this morning. You're gonna pass this test with flying colors, and you're gonna be the greatest today. You work on only today, okay? And then, you know what? Your day starts off right. Your time is used wisely because you started off with something very important. You started off with something very positive. Positive affirmations is what gets you going in the day. If you wake up and you go, oh my God, today's gonna suck. Well, guess what? It's gonna suck. Okay, so your mind, the way how you train yourself to think about that, you can be the owner of your time. And your time will never go against you. Because if you wake up and your husband's like, oh my God, honey, I forgot to, do this, and then you spend 10 minutes bickering to your husband, right, about how he never does things right and all this stuff, and he takes another 10 minutes to apologize to you, right?
Take me 2 days.
Ironically, I always did things right, so.
So, once that happens, if you spend that 20-minute bickering, it sets off your whole day, right? And for us women, when we are upset, we forget to take care of ourselves. So we are upset looking bad, okay? And at the end of the day, oh my God, okay? And then you look at the mirror and you're like, oh, the whole day, the whole time this goes wrong. Well, you know what? If you were to rewind that, and if your husband apologized, and if you know that it was wrong, let it go. Let it go, skinny it out, edit it out, and guess what? The rest of the day, the rest of your time becomes yours. Okay? It becomes yours, and you become the owner of that time. And by the time you sit down by dinner, you're happy. Okay, I'm happy. I've got, this and this coming up, and, I can handle my clients very well. I'm the type of person, I'm an empath, and so if I talk to somebody who's very negative, I find myself becoming very negative. Okay? And then I have to reset and be like, oh, that was bad. I need to, zen out and let it go. Or if I'm really negative, it comes out of me. Okay? And I don't want to be negative when I talk to my clients because they already come to you negative. Right? They come to you with a whole bunch of things that they need to let go of. So if they call you and they go, oh, Jillian, I really, my spirit has been wandering for like in the forest for like, I don't know how many weeks. How can you help me? I don't know, I'm lost myself. I just don't know how I'm gonna help you, okay? So this is gonna be where they're gonna be like, oh my God, so I wasted like this many time waiting for you. And some people, they don't want to go to somebody else, they wanna come to you. And they would rather wait 2 months, 2 weeks, some like, really long time. So by the time they get to you, you wanna make sure that they waited worth their time. Because it's so important. And it's important to do this so that your life, you are in control of. You're in control of that. A lot of, things in our life we can't control. We can't control how people talk about us. We can't control what they're gonna say to us right after we leave, a party or anything. And I always, mention to a lot of people who follow me, I say, be the person who everybody cannot wait for you to walk into the room. As soon as you walk into the room, the party's alive. And they go, oh my God, I couldn't wait for you to come. I've been so excited to see you. Versus, oh my God, I never thought she'd leave, okay? That's the difference. So you want to make sure you are the person who everybody cannot wait to talk to. Because you are somebody who has character. You are somebody who respects time. You are someone who values love. Not only in them, but in your life, who values time, who appreciates the time that you get to spend with your family. Because if you don't, then they'd be, you're the one that people can't wait to leave. They're like, when is she gonna leave? Because, as soon as she leaves, we're gonna talk about her. So, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And I think that, it's important to adapt all of this. And if time is a habit that is really hard for you to break, do it for 35 days. Set a time for 35 days because it takes 35 days to build a habit, okay? It's kind of like losing weight. In 8 weeks, you don't see anything. In 12 weeks, you see something. And then in another 12 weeks, people start seeing it in you, okay? So it's gonna take practice, but once you adapt that practice, it becomes something that you own and it becomes perfect, and progression leads to perfection. Don't think about being perfect to go to progression. And always remember that the biggest room is a room for improvement, no matter how good you think you are, okay? If you walk into a room thinking you know everything, you're in the wrong room, okay? You're in the wrong room. Because if you walk in thinking you're all high and mighty, that you're all this, and you need to get out, because that room is not for you. Each part, each category, each being in you, in fiber of you, should always be open to learning. No matter if they teach you the same thing again, you say thank you. Because with everything that we give out to life, we also take in. And you learn best when you teach. And when you teach, you become a master at it. Okay? So, I have 30 minutes, but where's my timekeeper? Jer, do we keep? I'm done? Okay. All right.